It's Atomikjaye!
Hi everyone. So today we're gonna make this fuzzy bucket hat. I've been seeing it everywhere and I really wanted the 90s nostalgia, so I decided to make it. I'm using a sweater that I found in New York & Company, but you can use any furry fabric. Walmart had really nice Sherpa blankets that you can use and really nice colors. So you can do that. You could follow along with using a blanket as well. I hope you like this tutorial. Please give it a thumbs up and please subscribe for more. For supplies, you will need a pattern. I use Natalia's video for my pattern. I will link her video below. What you need next is fuzzy fabric. I got this sweater from New York & Company, but you can use literally anything that's fuzzy. And the next thing you need is some form of stabilizer. So I'm using felt that matches your fabric. I'm using satin for the lining, that my hair doesn't get all snaggy and dry and stuff. And then of course you need thread, a sewing machine. I also use a serger to clean up the edges because this fabric is very messy and it sheds like crazy. I think that's all you need. So let's get started. For my pattern, I use Natalia's tutorial, which I think is the best by far because you can customize it however you want it. However, if you do not want to make one, I have one available if you sign up for my newsletter. The links are down below for Natalia's video and for my newsletter. When you are finished, you will have 3 pattern pieces: the top, the sides, and the brim. I will add a cut list to the side. These are the pieces that you have to cut. And remember, you will cut these on the fold, not the top, just the brim and the sides. And we shall get cutting. Side note, if you happen to not have a lot of fabric, you can cut not on the fold, but you just have to add half an inch to the fold side so that you can sew it and then flatten it. For my fabric, the seam isn't noticeable, but yours might be, so be cognizant of that. So these are all the pieces that you will need. So the next step is you want to take a piece, whatever piece you have, and what you want to do is find whichever side you want to use. Mine look the same, so I'm just going to pick any side. And then you're going to sew this stabilizer onto your fabric. So here's the furry fabric. You're going to just sew this on. So I'm using a serger though, just to clean up the edges and seal them. When you're using the serger, don't cut into it, just cut, like you don't want to cut any of the fabric basically. You just want to clean up the edges. So that's what we're going to do next. So this is what your pieces should look like now, with the furry fabric on the top, felt on the back. So now that we have the stabilizer on all these pieces, we're going to start sewing. So first thing you want to do is you want to take the brim, right sides together, sew a half an inch, then the sides, right sides together, a half an inch, and then we're going to continue from there. So now that these are sewn, we're going to attach the top part to the sides. Right now I'm just folding it so I get the notches because I lost mine. So now all you have to do is right sides together, pin these. I'm going to use clips. Alright, so I'm going to sew around here half an inch, and then I probably will serge it when I'm done. This is how our hat is looking like so far. This isn't lined yet, so it's still just the felt and the seams. I should have picked another color besides black, but sorry. So now we're going to do the brims. This part is the unlined part. We're going to sew this right sides together for a half an inch. Then what we're going to do next is we're going to sew these right sides together and do a stitch here, flip it over, and then do like a basting stitch at the top. Okay, so we're gonna sew the unlined brim right sides together, and I'll show you the tissue tip that I had earlier. So because this is so furry, it's gonna get caught in your sewing machine. So all you need to do is just have some tissue paper and just sew it like normal. And then when you're done, you just have to rip it off. You don't have to worry about clogging your sewing machine. So what we're gonna do next is we're gonna take these, then right sides together, which is like this. We're gonna sew it around the edges. I'm gonna sew it on the felt side so I don't have to do the tissue part again. But we're gonna sew it around the edges and then flip it over. All right, so I cleaned up my edges and now I'm just gonna fold the unfaced brim on top and then sew on this edge down here. And here is your brim.
Now you just want to base the top edge to keep it all together, and we will continue.
So far we have the top of the hat and the brim. Where's my camera? Okay, that's better. This is kind of what it looks like right now. But first we have to sew the lining. So just sew 1/2 inch on this side, attach this to this. And here is the finished satin lining. So now what you want to do is you want to sew your brim to your hat right sides together. And it's probably best to get notches in your fabric. Mine are already gone, so I'm just going to fold mine in half. Put a pin here and fold these two in half. This is the back seam. And then add another pin here and a pin over here. And now you can match them up easily. So this is what our hat looks like so far. And now what you want to do, you want to sew the lining in. So what you want to do is turn the hat inside out. Make sure the brim goes on the inside. And then take the lining piece. Make sure the right side is to the right side of the hat. So right side of the hat is inside, right side. So the wrong side is facing out right now. Does that make sense? And then you're just gonna match the seams. Match your notches to the, well, there's no notches now. Just evenly place this inside. All right, I'll show you when I'm done. All right, so this is how it's looking like right now. The outside of the hat, the outside of the lining is facing this way. And now I'm gonna sew around, leaving space to turn it inside out. And let's see how that goes. So it has all sewn around. I left a little space for me to open it. So we're gonna turn it out just to see what it looks like. And then I'm probably gonna serge this seam so that it's a little smaller and cleaner. So you have your satin, you have your satin lining inside. And then you want to hand sew the opening closed like that. And then there you go. There is your new fuzzy bucket hat. So I hope you liked this tutorial. Again, please give it a thumbs up if you liked it, or subscribe. and see you in the next one. Bye.